Viewers, welcome to my channel, Satya Sparkles. This segment is part 3 of my playlist titled Do You Want to Be Creative? Of course you can. The title for this segment is What are the 4 ingredients of creativity? I also request you to watch the video till the end to get a comprehensive view of the content. In part 1, we learned about what creativity means and how it is different from innovation. In part 2, we learned about what is a paradigm shift and how it can be a game changer. Just in case you missed viewing my earlier parts serially, I suggest you to view them before viewing this part 3 segment. In this part 3 segment, we'll learn about observation as one of the 4 ingredients of creativity. Please stay tuned as you will see some interesting examples and stunning visuals. What do you see in this picture? A mother and her baby in a distress situation? Or they're looking for some help? You may have some other thoughts as well. The next 3 questions to you are what have you seen? What have you looked at? What have you watched or observed? If you think it is a painting and not a photograph, you are a good observer. Let us try to understand the difference between seeing, looking, and observing. Seeing is something that you do naturally without thinking. It is an image that falls in your retina and you perceive something. For example, you see a forest, or when you open the car, you see a newspaper on the back seat. Looking is something that you focus on with concentration and make an effort. In the same scenario, you see an unusually big tree with a lot of branches in the forest. The language of the newspaper on the back seat of the car is not familiar to you. Observing is you do something with the purpose of deeper understanding, using more than one sense. Then, in the unusual big tree, you observe a bird building its nest, and you try to figure out the details of the newspaper, such as the language and the date of the newspaper, etc. What is the difference between looking and watching and observing and seeing? Observation is the ability to sense problems, anomalies, issues, feelings, shapes, sounds, relationships, etc. It's about focusing on situations in which they are not too obvious. Let me tell you an anecdote here. A professor in surgery was taking a class for medical students. He said that to become a successful surgeon, one should have 2 essential qualities. One is that in the operation theatre, the surgeon should not have a sense of nausea, which is a vomiting sensation or a disgusting sensation. And the second one is a strong observational skill to monitor closely the readings on the machine about the vital parameters. He took out a glass of foul smelling liquid and dipped his finger and licked it. And he asked the students to do the same thing. All the students licked the liquid, though they did not like it. The professor said, "Well done, student, you passed the first test. Nobody vomited, but you miserably failed in the second test. You all failed to observe that the finger that I dipped was not the finger that I licked." The question that comes to our mind is why we are not observers by nature. Look at this unbelievable yet realistic exercise. Are the colors of the squares A and B the same? No? Have a closer look again. The brain interprets the squares as they should appear, black or white, shown here as a dark and light gray shade. It completely disregards that they have the same shape. The opposite squares suggest two different colors, and your brain accepts this as a fact. It shows that we often observe things not as they are, but as we want them to be. This is a game called Brain Ball being played in a public auditorium in a European country. Your sensor in the ball is connected to the player's brain remotely. The challenge for the player is to keep the ball unmoved by holding a particular thought still for as many seconds as possible. Once the thought changes, the ball moves, and the scores are compiled for a certain time frame. Many dignitaries, like prime ministers, ambassadors, and others from different countries, enjoy this game whenever they visit this place. The very reason why we find it difficult to develop our observation skill is the inherent nature of our brain to get distracted very often. What do you observe in this group photo? Do you find something strange? If you have observed the human face on the knees of the girl standing in the middle of the picture, great, well done. What do you see common in each of these pictures? The alphabet has been represented by the shape of the images. For example, G for goldfish, E for elephant, H for horse, L for leg, and C for caterpillar. Look at this paragraph. Some words may not be familiar to you, don't worry. Just try to figure out what is something that is not obvious in this long sentence. Each word is constructed number-wise, sequentially. The first word has one letter, the second word has two letters, and the third word has three letters, and so on. Another creative exercise. What is something different in this picture? Many quickly say that a tooth is missing from the man's mouth. But that is more obvious. Have you observed that one eyebrow on the man's face is also missing? It is interesting to know that Eskimos can identify many types of snow, whereas for us, all snow looks similar everywhere. Similarly, those in deserts can observe that they have different stages of pregnancy of camels and they monitor very precisely. You are seeing three statues of warriors sitting on horses. Can you see some significant difference in each of these three statues? If you find that one leg of the horse is up in the air the injured warrior died after the battle was over. If you find that both the legs of the horse are up in the air, the warrior died while fighting in the battle. If you find that both the legs of the horse are on the ground, the warrior died naturally. So, next time if you happen to see such statues, try to observe these details. Now, what can we do to improve our observational skills so that we can become more creative? Here is the way forward. Recall a person whom you know very well. Do you find something strange about the person's mannerisms, body language, or physical traits? When you visit a new place, maybe a restaurant or hospital or to your friend's home for the first time or any other place, look out for something that is very unusual and then apply your mind to closely observe the details of such thing at a very granular level. When you watch a movie, rewind and see a few clippings without the background score. Then focus on dialogues alone. Then focus only on the body language of the actors. Try to recall your dreams and visualize the characters and the events that you saw as sharp as possible. Develop and follow your own mindfulness techniques that are aligned with your interests and hobbies to enhance your observation skill. Hope you have enjoyed this video. The next segment will explore more about flexibility as the second ingredient of creativity. Thanks for watching. If you like this segment, please subscribe, share, like, comment, and press the bell button. See you soon in my next video. Until then, goodbye.